pretty good afternoon yesterday in Brampton for A.J. Jenks and the Walleye, and a pretty good debut for Angus Redmond. The Walleye netminder coming up big in the shootout, not allowing a goal. After the weekend, the Fish are now the #1 team in the entire ECHL. Oh, we are so happy now to have the voice of hockey in Toledo, Matt Melzak, here. And Matt, how long have you been doing Toledo minor league hockey games?
Ooh, I got to go all the way back to 2003.
With the Storm and the sports arena and all the nuttiness that happened there.
Yes.
So it's been a while, over a decade. You're getting closer to your second decade. Have you ever experienced something like what happened on Saturday, where people are literally waiting for hockey and it's not happening?
Let me think a little bit here. All right, I've had a few delays.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? I can attest to one. I'll give you a story.
All right.
I want to say we got to go back to, it would be the 2006-2000 season.
Okay.
So the last season of Toledo Storm hockey.
Yep.
And we used to make the Johnstown trip on the same day.
Play the Johnnies?
To play, yes, the Johnstown Chiefs there in Johnstown. It was right on the cusp.
Yep.
It would take you you'd leave early in the morning, stop for lunch somewhere, and make the rest of the way. Well, we run into an accident on the main highway going into Johnstown. Parking lot.
Oh, no.
Just sitting.
Yeah.
The game was supposed to start at 7. We didn't get there until 7:30. So, yes, didn't get there until 7:30. Now, we're most of the way there. So, we're literally, I mean, we are just a half hour out of town.
Right.
But can't go anywhere. It's a parking lot. You're stuck.
Was there thought of walking?
The thought of walking was starting to occur to everyone. So, we finally get there. Instead of getting there at 5 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game, we got there at 7:30. Played the game, started at about 8 to 8:15. Guys went out. They had a quick warm-up and basically just went. Basically, you walked off the bus, threw your gear on, went out, warmed up, and off we went.
Do you remember who won?
Toledo won in a shootout, 3-2. Of course, went to a shootout.
Oh, my.
Because you had, you have to have a shootout in that case, right?
Yes,
you got to go through the whole thing,
Right.
overtime, everything. You got to have the longest game you could possibly have.
And you get out of there like 2 in the morning,
right.
I'm sure.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So history
same kind of thing here.
Almost repeats itself. Were you sitting there thinking, how am I going to fill? And it kept changing, right? What was the final, here is what happened?
Well, here's the way I've understood it, okay? And I'll run through the timeline with you. So Kyle and I are in the booth. We're getting ready to go, you know, and we're ready. Oh, yeah, we'll be fine, 7 o'clock. So Andy comes in. She goes, hey, I just heard from Joe Ernst that the referees are stuck in traffic. They're not going to be here on time. So we're going to have to push the game back to 7:25. Okay, so 7:15 to 7:25, the puck drop is not a big deal.
No problem.
No worries. We get into the show, so we're already into the pregame. We're, blah, 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 shooting the breeze. Kyle's telling some stories. It's all good. No worries.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's getting to 7:25, excuse me, and we've got no game yet. There's nothing. All right, there's no indication that we're going to start at all.
Right.
So, we get into one of the breaks, and I go over to the other, to the press box there. I'm like, what is going on here? They're not even here yet.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, what are you going to do? We can't go anywhere.
Right.
So we just kept right on plowing along till somebody said they're in there, they're going. The latest I've heard on it, I haven't heard it official. We ended up having the same ref the next day in Brampton, yesterday in Brampton. But I guess what happened was he forgot his passport some documentation that goes with it, because he's actually from Great Britain.
Oh, my gosh.
So he has to probably have extra in, paperwork that goes with whether his working visa for Canada, working visa for the States, all of those things.
Yes.
Because they will hold you up at the border.
As you might know.
Yes, I have seen this before. If you do not carry your P1 or these things that say that you are legal to work in the country, they will stop you.
Sure.
You're going to stop. It's going to be a while.
Yeah.
And I could imagine that that's probably what ended up transpiring. And then there was an accident on the highway that did kind of slow things up after that. So it happens. And poor Mr. Liam Sewell, who turned around and did have probably his worst game ever. And you could imagine so, but he did Saturday night. Was just, I don't know, I mean, clearly his head was not in the game.
Yeah.
And that happens. You get all of those things that happen. It's tough. It is. It's very difficult to focus on a game. But yeah, it was something, but we lost an hour and 15 minutes. We probably should have been into Brampton by about 4.
Oh, boy.
We were there at 5:15 in the morning.
A.M. a.m. You're at 5:15
and played at 2 p.m.